Welcome to the Rejoice podcast. This is actually our third episode of the Rejoice podcast. I'm so excited. The theme for today and what I really want to talk about today is love isn't just words. It's something we show in action. And the key scripture for this theme that I'm going to speak about today is from 1 John 3 verses 18. So yeah, we're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about how our actions show love. And so if you really do enjoy this episode, make sure you share it with your family and friends. And yeah, maybe subscribe or follow me and let's get into it. Okay, so the first question we have is, what is the difference between saying I love you and showing I love you? Okay, so saying I love you, especially in context of the theme, is just words. There's a lot of people who can easily say I love you, which is really not confusing, but kind of hurtful because sometimes they may not mean it at all. It's like the same with people who say, "Oh, I'm so sorry," but then they don't actually mean it because their actions don't show that they're actually sorry. I think the same goes with saying I love you. People can constantly say, "Oh, I love you," but then their actions don't really show that they do. And of course, many people have different love languages, there's physical touch, there's words of affirmation, there's, acts of service, and, all these different types of love languages that you may have. And of course, we may not understand, how to really portray them in a way that shows. But I think it's better for people to show that they love me. And sometimes it is hard to say I love you to someone, but I personally love to show, people that I actually love them. I love to, give gifts. I love to also just be there, quality time and acts of service. Those are my love languages. And so of course I'm not in that type of relationship. You have a relationship with your family, you have a relationship with your friends, and I really try my best to show it in those type of relationships. With my friends, I spend really good quality time with them because not only does it make me happy, but also, we're building those memories as well, giving gifts and, acts of service as well. I truly do enjoy that. And so that's my way of showing love. And so I don't know, I'm not the type of person who would always go around and say, "Oh, I love you," because I'm not saying my EQ is low, but it's kind of oh, I'm a bit awkward at times. And so for me, that would be really awkward. But I hope that my friends and family, they see that I do care about them with the way I treat them. Because I also think it's very important with how you treat people. If you don't treat people with respect and with kindness and love, then they're not going to really feel loved by you, and your words are just going to be very they're going to be said in vain. And so I think it's important that if we do have the guts to say, "Oh, I love you too," whoever, show that you actually do. To answer the question of the difference between saying I love you and showing it, I think the difference is that saying I love you, can come in one ear and leave the other, but showing that I love you can leave a really big emotional impact on the other person that you're showing love to. Next question is, why is forgiveness sometimes the hardest way to show love? Yeah, hey, I had to recently do this. But forgiveness is probably the hardest way to show love. Especially it's hard because the other person may not actually be sorry for what they did to you. And this has definitely happened to me where I've had to forgive a lot of people who were not really apologetic for what they did. It's not hurting them, it's only hurting me. And so the forgiving part was mainly for me, but in a way it shows love because, I can choose to be petty. I can choose to, you know, strive against them and have vengeance towards them and an attitude and hold a grudge, but it's only hurting me in the long run. And it's hard. It really is. It is so hard to forgive even when the person hasn't come to you and said, what I did to you or how I treated you was wrong, and I'm really sorry for that. But I think, well, I hope that one day a time will come or an opportunity will come where, the person will maybe come to their senses and you'll be able to talk about what happened. If you are planning to build on that, relationship and stuff. But, with the recent case that happened to me, yeah, I prayed and I told God, I do not like this person anymore. I even I maybe use the H word, which is hate. And I feel really bad because that's like hating is just, it's a sin to hate. We're supposed to show love as children of God. And so, yeah, I said, yeah, I hate this person, and God, why did this person do this to me? And yeah, I was really hurt. I really was. And so God was like, you know what? It's time to forgive. I think I had my fair share of hurts. It was like about 2 days of hating them. And then God was like, okay, it's time to forgive because you are not hurting the other person by hating them. You're only hurting yourself. And so what I'm trying to do now is, I think I'll update you guys on this, but what I'm trying to do now is like just trying to, yeah, forgive. I've definitely forgiven the person, but also add a really huge like gap, between us. I'm not gonna just, it's hard to just forgive and forget, immediately. Of course I'm human, and God is working within me every single day to, yeah, make me worthy in that sense. Or yeah, but I just think that right now I'm just building like a bridge between us, but that bridge is not hatred like it was before, but it's a bridge in which, Jesus stands at the center, between me and the person, to really control the dynamic of the relationship. Because I truly believe like this person I truly cared about a lot. And yeah, I was just hurt by certain things. But I think to just continue to show love is important, even if it's at a distance. The next question is, who in your life needs more of your patience, kindness, and forgiveness? Oh, okay. I really don't want to name names, especially because I haven't had any like guest people on the podcast yet. Okay, firstly, the person that I just mentioned in the previous like answer of that question. Who else needs like more of my patience, kindness, and forgiveness? Yeah, the person I mentioned, probably sometimes like, the people I serve with in ministry. Yeah, yeah. And the people who I serve as well. Because, ministry, I think it's sometimes you can get to a point where we're all kind of clashing because, excellence like honors God, and we all are striving for like excellence, as we serve and in the ministry that we're serving in. And so sometimes it may be hard because we think, okay, if we do it this way, or one person may think, okay, if we do it this way, then that's the best way to do it, especially in this ministry. But, another person may think, no, if you do it this way, it's better and stuff. And so I need to be more patient and kind with them because at the end of the day, we're all striving for one main goal, and that is to, please the Lord and advance His kingdom and to just serve God. And so if we're not patient with each other, then we may invite strife and arguments and, anger. And that's how the enemy can really, attack us as a ministry. And so me, by doing my part in being patient, kind, and forgiving, I think hopefully that can spread like a little rash to everyone else, and they can see that, you know what, it's better to be more patient, kind, and forgiving than to try and argue with each other, even though we're all striving for one main goal. So I think I need to be patient and kind with people in ministry, and just, even if they do talk to you badly or, don't respect you or whatever, it's fine because, hey, at the end of the day, God sees me. Even you listening to this, God sees you. And yeah, we just have to continue to move on and serve with diligence and obey the Lord. The next question is, if your friends judged your faith only by how you love people, what would they see? I don't want to toot my own horn. Is that what it is? Toot my own horn? Blow my own whistle? Yeah, either or. I don't want to make it seem like I'm like a great person, but I think they would see positivity, especially in my life. I don't know. I really try to be kind. And sometimes, be with being kind, you sometimes get like walked all over and stuff, and then it's hard. But no, I really do try like show love, and I try and be as kind as possible, to those around me and stuff. Just a quick ad break. We are just gonna read the theme scripture. I hope you are enjoying the podcast so far. We're reading the theme scripture from 1 John chapter 3 verse 18, and it says, "Little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth." And so I hope that as you're still listening to this podcast, that you really do enjoy. Please don't forget to share, to like, and to just, follow, subscribe, wherever you're listening. Love you. Yeah, I could never want to, like, get into an argument or say, "Are you saying that to me?" Like, if someone wants to say something mean to me, I'm just like, okay, I'll pray about that tonight. I'll bring that to the Lord. But in the moment, I'm just quiet, and I don't have, maybe it's also because I don't have the energy for it, but I don't know. Yeah, so I think if my friends would have, only judge me by my faith, I think they would see love. I hope they would see love and kindness and just a girl really striving to really get to know God, because I think that's just where I'm at right now. My faith, I'm really just striving to only please the Lord. I've tried pleasing the world. I've tried pleasing leaders at church, and it's failed. So I don't think, I know that the first option I should have done was to just please God. He knew us in our mother's wombs and all. Like, even before we were born, he just knew us. And so why wouldn't I try and please someone who literally knew me before anything, knows how many hairs I have on my head, and died for me on the cross? Like, that's the main goal. And so yeah, I hope they do see that in my life. And that is the end of the podcast. I really do hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope I was able to really share some insightful stuff about love and how, it's love in words versus love in action. If you really did enjoy this episode, please like, share, comment, and follow. Please do follow. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.